Second idea here in being worthy on my walk, match, and my talk is I should save. Proverbs 21:20. I can't accurately predict the future. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. I had a very wealthy man tell me one time when I was really young, work hard and save a lot. Work hard and save a lot. You never know when that rainy day's coming. Just quickly, Ron Blue, a financial planner, has this big firm. He's a Christian. And one of his guys are meeting with a pastor who is 75 years old, and he walks in and says, the pastor says, I want some help with my financial planning and my retirement. They said, well, tell us a little bit about yourself. He said, well, I've never made more than $15,000 a year. I've given at least 15% away. And so now they're getting ready, of his annual income away, and now they're getting ready to say, oh my goodness, how are we going to help this guy with this $4,000 he has left? And they said, well, sir, how much have you saved? And he goes, 500 and 750. I go, oh, 500 and 750. Yeah, I got $500,000 in the cash in the bank and $750,000 in stocks and bonds. They said, sir, we're here to learn from you. And it's just interesting. If you took $2,500 a year and put it away for 40 years and never touched it, and it accumulated at somewhere between 8 and 10% annualized compounded rate, at the end of the 40 years, you're a millionaire. And it's just amazing how saving a little can transform your whole life. And there it is. It's from the Bible. Third one would be shrewd and harmless. God doesn't want you to be gullible. You should be shrewd. You should be able to discern. You should have street smarts, but you should be harmless to another individual with those. Proverbs 10:2. Proverbs 10:2. Ill-gotten treasures, that would be harmful, gotten treasures, are of no value, but righteousness, shrewd and harmless, delivers from death. And then I read this morning, Proverbs 28 on the 28th of the month. Proverbs 28:6 says, better a poor man whose walk is blameless than a rich man whose ways are perverse. Worthy, walk, match the talk. Steward, save, be shrewd and harmless.
When the resources, for whatever reason, are going up. And again, don't forget here, I'm not just talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not talking about all of a sudden you're rolling in cash. I'm just talking about all of a sudden there's extra. All of a sudden, for whatever reason, you have more than normal. Then remember, worthy, steward it, save it, be shrewd. B, don't worship it. Worship not. Don't for a moment fall into the trap that every one of you, I would guess, in this room has felt or come close to or even fallen into at times. There are times when it seems so inviting, the extra. There are times when it seems so compelling, the money, that we would begin to actually exercise and commit idolatry. Actually worshiping it. Actually fully surrendering our hearts and lives to it and the pursuit of more of it and the enjoyment of all that it supposedly can bring. Let me just remind you of what it says here in Proverbs. Look at Proverbs 11:4, if you would. Look at Proverbs 11:4. It says, riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Now, I just wrote this down. Remember, there's some things in life we don't know. There's some things in this world that we're not certain of, okay? There's some questions that you and I have about the future that we have a hard time answering. Here's something that's very, very clear. You will and I will stand before God. Every one of us in this room will stand before God and give an answer, and your net worth won't matter. Not one bit. What you owned or where you went or where you invested or how much it returned, your net worth, your portfolio, your address, none of it will in the end matter one single bit. What will matter, Proverbs 11 says, is your righteousness. And you and I understand that our righteousness is something that's not of us, but something that we've received in relationship with who? With Christ. I love what it says in Proverbs. Look at Proverbs 18:11. Mitch and I were looking at this morning. It says in Proverbs 18:11, it says, a rich man's wealth is his strong city. Have you seen this before? A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his own what? In his own mind. You see, when you get a little extra, all of a sudden, you think you've got the city. You think you've got the fortified position. You think all of a sudden, with the wealth comes the security and the safety and the power and the ability that one has to rest easy in this walled, gated, huge, fortified city. And then Mitch and I saw, read verse 10. Look at verse 10. Here's the truth about that.
The name of the Lord is a strong tower.
Amen.
The righteous run to it and are safe. The righteous run to it and are safe. You know, Jesus sums it up this way. Right before he tells the parable of the rich fool, he says this. It's Luke 12:15. Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. A man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. A man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. It comes from the God who the Bible tells us is our life, and Christ is our life. Fourth is the down. When it goes down, when I don't know where the next day is going to be funded, we need to realize that God is my protector. God is my protector. Proverbs 16:7, when a man's ways are pleasing to the Lord, when they're wet cement, when his heart's wet cement, he makes even his enemies live at peace with him. He is a protector. Just like Proverbs 18:10 said, he is a strong tower. We can run to him and be safe. So here's your 10th W, worry not. Jesus was really clear on this too. Worry not. Do not experience a divided mind. Do not be anxious for when your money or your time or your talent seems short. Proverbs 23 verses 4 and 5. Proverbs 23 verses 4 and 5 say, do not wear yourself out to get rich. Have the wisdom to show restraint. Cast but a glance at riches and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. They are just merely ticks in an electronic, automated system. And you and I are going to go to the other side. Financial security never comes. Ron Blue, again, has a couple clients who are billionaires. And he said not one of them would refer to themselves as financially secure. I heard Ted Turner say myself, after he'd given $1 billion to the United Nations, everybody said, well, that's no big deal. He's got $1 billion or $2 billion left. Ted Turner actually said, I wake up every morning afraid that I'm going to lose it all. Financial security will never come. We need to trust in the giver, not the gifts. I would just encourage you to kind of go through these and examine your heart and ask the Spirit of God, you know, is it wet cement? On how it goes in, do I reflect this wisdom? On how it goes out, do I reflect God as my passion? Do I see as it comes in that God is my provider? As it goes up, do I see that God is my purpose for this? And that purpose is going to be revealed to me. And when it goes down, do I realize that God is my protector? A hard heart, one of cured concrete, is greedy. A generous heart is soft and humble, and it's wet cement. It's an open hand that allows God to put it in and makes it easy for us to send it out. All three resources of life, time, talent, and treasures.